Alright, it's been a bit. We've been waiting on parts, but we finally got what we were waiting for. These valves, new exhaust valves and intake valves are on back order, so they took a bit to get here. But now that we're here, let's tear back into this Wolverine 700. I'm gonna check real quick and make sure the head's not warped. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pitch these old valves, lap the new valves. I got my lapping compound here, clean this up nice, make sure they're mated perfectly together. Then it's just a matter of reassembling everything on the top end. Well, my battery died there and I just kept trucking right along, but as you can see, I've got the motor all back together. Gas tank's back then hooked up. I believe I have all the electrical connections hooked up. I have my air box hooked up. I don't have the air filter in yet, but it needs clean and it's not that important right now because we can at least go ahead and try to do an initial startup here and see if we get life into the puppy. Oh boy, fingers crossed. I'm gonna prime the fuel a couple times. We have an immediate startup! Woo! Woo! Alright, I'm gonna shut her off since I don't have the air filter on there. Success, guys! Awesome! Whoa, I forgot I was on wide view. Hold on a second. Hey, that's better. Now you guys don't look so far away. So there, we've got her. She's up and running. So I'm gonna clean the air filter out and put back together what I have back together. And next time I see you guys, we should be ready to go for a short little test drive. All right, so as you guys just saw yesterday, we got this Wolverine 700 running, but I had this just thought in the back of my mind. I thought, okay, the customer complained about this overheating. Was that the cause of our issues in the first place? So before I buttoned everything up and gave it back, I thought I'm gonna check into the water pump and make sure everything's okay with it, because I don't want to give this back and then 10 miles down the road the same thing happens. And sure enough, I pulled the cover off the water pump and I was able to take the water pump fan here and spin by hand. Now, if this is working, you should not be able to do that by hand, because that water pump's actually connected to the oil pump shaft, and as the oil pump shaft spins, it spins the water pump. So something was disconnected there. So I thought, okay, we got an issue. So I went ahead and I pulled this stator cover. I was hoping that I could get it pulled clear off, but this frame member here is going to be in the way, and I know you guys aren't going to be able to see in there. But maybe I can get you guys in there to see. Let me get some light. You can kind of see the chain and the gear in there that drives the water pump and the oil pump. The nut is off the end, so that sprocket in there is not connected to the shaft that spins it. So not only is our water pump not working, our oil pump not working. I guess that was an issue with these 708 Subaru engines, is that nut wasn't torque or Loctited from the factory and just simply would back off and fall off, and then that wasn't pumping your coolant or oil. So that is what was the original cause of all this work, is that nut came off, and so our water pump and oil pump was not working. So I'm glad I checked into that. The only issue is now, in order to get this off to reattach it, which as long as everything's fine, I just need to find that nut, Loctite it, put it on, torque it to spec, and get everything back together. However, this stupid guy right here is in the way. So that means in order to do that, I might not necessarily have to pull the motor, but I'm gonna have to take it loose enough that I can maybe at least shimmy it a little forward and over. So, here I thought my work was about done. So, I guess I'm gonna quit talking and get at it so I can get this buggy finished up and back to the owner. Alright, so I was able to get the engine loose and shift it enough that I could get the crankcase cover off, as you can see here. And here is what caused all our problems in the first place. This right here, here's the shaft for a water pump. You can see it's slotted. This slot is driven by our oil pump shaft, which is right here. You can see it's just got this flat end that fits in that slot. And as it spins the water pump fin. However, as you can see here, we're missing the nut. There should be a nut on here that holds this back, and that is what turns this. Well, without that missing, this thing isn't turning. So I don't know if it's in the case here somewhere. I'm not seeing it anywhere right here handy. I'm hoping it fell down there. I'm gonna take my magnet and see if I can't fish it out. But yep, that missing nut right there on that oil pump sprocket is what caused the issue with this in the first place. So not only was it not pumping coolant, it probably wasn't pumping oil either. Yikes. We have success. I found the nut and the washer. Neither one is damaged. All I had to do is I took them gears out, took my magnet, went in there fishing, and I got me the catch of the day. So all I have to do now is clean up all the old gaskets so I can put the new gasket on and clean all this up real well. Make sure I get all the debris out of there. Put everything back together correctly with Loctite and torque to spec, and we'll be in business. All right, the 700 Wolverine's all back together, at least back together the parts that I had. The owner had already taken a bunch of stuff off with the bed and stuff, so I don't have that stuff to put back on. But she fires right up now. We're gonna take her for a little test drive, see how she's running. Has a brand new top end, you kind of want to treat it like it's a brand new motor being broken, so I'm not going to gun it here. I'm going to recommend the owner that for about the first, we'll say 10 hours or 50 miles, whichever comes first, try not to go much over half throttle, and then once it hits that 50 miles or 10 hours, get the oil changed, and then you should be good to go. It's not a full break-in because the bottom end we didn't touch, it was fine. But the whole top end's new, so your cylinder, your piston rings, there are gonna be some wear item on that as if it was a brand new engine, because it is all brand new. here and see how she goes. This is the older style gauge, so it doesn't give you your engine temperature. We'll pull the hill here and let the fan kick on. Here, check for leaks. Yep, our fan's running. She's working. Good, 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 good. No leaks, no drippers. Perfect. Let's just sit here till we see if the fan shuts off. Which I won't bore you guys, so I'll just go ahead and cut until the fan cuts off. All right, we're back. Fan cut off. Everything seems to be working well. We'll finish our little test drive around the field. And it'll be time to return it back to the owner. I think really the only thing I don't like about this first generation Wolverine is the steering wheel position. I like my wheel down a little bit more than what this is. Of course, it's fixed in these. It wasn't tilt. I mean, it's not bad. It's perfect for two-hand driving, but one-hand driving, it feels like, at least for me and my body frame, I'm stretched way out. Probably just take a little getting used to it and be fine. well, I'd say this first generation Wolverine 700 is ready to go back to the owner so he can finish putting back together what he already took off for me. Practically has a brand new motor. Well, bottom end stock, but the whole top end is brand new. So he should be good to go for thousands more miles. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.